This is the first of 5 sessions that we'll be having during this season of the year on the book of Revelation, and especially on chapters 2 and 3 of that book. Our prayer is that this will be a blessing for you, and that through it you may come to a greater understanding of the book of Revelation, its spiritual importance for us. Joining me for these studies is my good friend, Deacon David Crabtree. David is from Raleigh, North Carolina, a deacon in the Diocese of North Carolina, and a friend and co-worker in the Lord's vineyards with me for many years. Welcome, David.
Bishop, thank you. It is a privilege to be here. We're going to begin with the first letter that was written. Now, here's John, who has been at this a long time. But at the time he has the vision that he has and begins to write about what he senses the Lord has spoken to him through this vision, he's aged. He began all this, as you reminded me, as the first disciple to see the empty tomb.
That's right. He was a boy as a disciple following Jesus. And now John himself is an old man. He has been serving as the apostle, the bishop, if you will, in Turkey, Asia Minor, of 7 cities. And now, as he sees these visions, he's imprisoned on the island of Patmos, having been sent there part of a religious persecution by the Roman Empire and by the emperor. And it's there in his cave on Patmos that he has this vision.
So here we have this man. He writes this magnificent book that for many, at first glance, appears to be violent. It's apocalyptic. It's about wars. It's about 7 horsemen. It's about all these things. It's about end times.
It is.
It's about get your life together, so to speak. I'm coming soon. To some people, it's a book that creates fear, but that's not what John is doing here. He's doing just the opposite, right?
I think he is doing just the opposite, David. You know that we picked up on themes in a couple of these letters. As you mentioned, when he says to, I believe the church in Philadelphia, I'm coming soon. It's a word of encouragement and of reassurance to them. Is judgment coming? Yes, judgment's coming. I'm convinced that someday each of us will stand before the judgment throne of God. And yet in that moment, the one who will be our advocate, who will intercede with the Father for us, is the one who came to love us so much that he would die for us on the cross.
In this session, we looked at 2 letters to 2 different cities, Smyrna and Pergamum. So here are 3 questions you may want to consider in your discussion.